Good afternoon and welcome to BDTV Roundtable, where we discuss issues of national interest as it affects you, as it affects me, as it affects all of us in Nigeria and even beyond. Today, we'll be discussing a very important matter, and that's the promise of Mr. Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State, to serve only one term if elected as a president of Nigeria in 2027. Well, the statement by Peter Obi has generated so much controversy across Nigeria, from the presidency to the current governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, to even the factional leader in the Labour Party, where Obi ran for presidency in 2023. Everybody's just criticizing Peter Obi for claiming that he will be doing just one term if given an opportunity in 2027. Well, it seems that Obi's, I should say, Obi's openness is drawing so much criticism against him. I don't know. Today, we have in the studio to discuss this issue with me, Mr. Oruko, who is the assistant editor here in BusinessDay.
Thank you for
You're
having
welcome,
me.
Mr. Oruko. I also have Mr. Zebulum, who is the Sunday editor of BusinessDay.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome, gentlemen. Like I said in my intro, last Sunday, Peter Obi tweeted, of course, this is not the first time he has said this, but again, he was reiterating it on Sunday, that if given the opportunity to serve, if elected in 2027, he will only serve for one term. And like I said, this has generated so much controversy. There are people who are now dragging Peter Obi for saying this. Peter Obi actually said he was trying to, point to the fact that there have been people who have served one term in other countries and they've done so well. He cited Abraham Lincoln of the United States. He also cited John F. Kennedy, also in the United States. Of course, he also cited in Africa, he cited Nelson Mandela, who also did one term. And Peter Obi is saying that, look, all of these people left enduring legacy. And that for him, if given the opportunity, he will also leave enduring legacy. And of course, just one time. But this statement has not gone down well with a lot of people. So let me start with you. Is it a crime for one to say his mind now? Is it a crime now? Peter Obi has said his mind, but a lot of people are not
Comfortable with that.
are not comfortable with this statement.
Yeah,
What's your take on this?
thank you so much, Josh. I am not surprised what is going on and the gamut of doubt that his openness has generated, because we live in a country where trust deficits have become the order of the day. People no longer trust political practitioners and those who hold public offices, because during the electioneering campaign, they go about reading all manner of promises, telling you that they will make the country Eldorado and they turn the country into heaven just in one day. But as soon as they're inaugurated, they will forget all the promises. So those who are doubting that Peter Obi will not do what he promised may have been looking at it from that point of view, that all politicians, that in fact, they are painting all politicians with the same tar, and it's unfortunate. And we need to move away from such unfortunate scenario we have found ourselves as a country. We need to begin to see our leaders live by their word. Let their word be their bond. Because if our leaders had lived up to expectation, lived up to their promises, there wouldn't have arisen all this gamut of controversy that have tread Peter Obi's openness, or what I can call a sincere promise. Because here is a man that said, it doesn't take me donkey years to make Nigeria a livable place. 6 months, for instance, look at the late Muhammad Muritala Muhammad. Muritala Muhammad.
Yeah, was assassinated.
Assassinated. Under 6 months, Nigeria felt his presence, of which if Muritala Muhammad had lasted for 2 years, Nigeria wouldn't be where it is today, perhaps. Look at President Umaru Musa. How many years did he spend? Nigerians today can attest to a lot of positive things he did. The peace we started seeing in Niger Delta was initiated by him. A lot of good policies he brought to bear that we are still enjoying today. So it doesn't really matter how many years a leader. What matters is openness, the truthfulness, and the willingness to work, the political will to change things for your people. Peter Obi believes that if he comes on board, 3 years is more than enough for him to make a mark in the country. Personally, I don't doubt him. Okay. I believe from what he has been able to do in Anambra State when he was governor under 8 years. Okay. It's verifiable that the man can still do something there. I am not his campaign manager anyway, but I'm saying these are the possibilities.
Okay. Thank you, Zeb. Before we go into perhaps what Peter Obi has done in the past, Chuka, let me come to you. In a country and in the continent where we've seen seat-tight leaders who despite being old, just keep going election after election after we've seen. And we live in a country, and in fact Africa generally, where leaders don't just want to leave power. They would rather die there. But Peter Obi is saying, I want to do one term. And one would have expected that a statement like this will be embraced by a lot of people. So, wow, this is one man who wants to just do one term and go. But the reaction we are getting, the opposite is the case. Like I said, one would have expected people to hail him and say, wow, one term in a continent where people just want to stay in power and probably die there. But here, in terms of the reaction we have seen so far, the opposite is the case. People are actually now criticizing rather than welcoming this. What do you think is responsible for this?
I think my colleague has answered almost 50% of what the question you are just asking. And central to all of this is the trust deficit we're talking about. We don't trust even ourselves. Even within any small community, there's mutual distrust.
Is it trust that is making people not to be happy?
Let me just explain what I mean. When somebody is telling you something, you know that, there's nothing, it doesn't mean it.
We have seen it before.
We have heard this before. But again, you find that we have heard politicians who will come into power, spend 8 years, and there's nothing positive to show. So when somebody comes and tells you he's going to do 4 years and there will be impact, becomes a difficult thing to believe. That, and we have just alluded to some African countries, especially a place like Cameroon, where you have somebody who have been there. Paul Biya have been there right from almost the time we were in primary school. And here we are. The same man is still there. And as if Cameroon has turned to anything better than where he came. So when you are talking about either as a country or as a continent, we are just one and the same people. And that's why people find it difficult to believe that when you say, it's such a short period of time, I'm going to do this. But the challenge we have is that we have not really been able to say, let us give it this benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
For somebody who came to say, I want to be president. Don't forget that Nigerians until today believe that Peter Obi won that presidency. So we have a different brand of politician on our hands.
Nigerian believe.
Yeah,
But-
people don't
but-
believe that because at least he has 6 million votes from Nigerians on his kitty. When he comes back, because of what I've experienced within the last 2 years, he may scale that number
Yes.
because people have seen that
No,
we are
so-
just fed with.
sorry, Nigerian believe Peter Obi won the 2023 election.
In some quarters, they believe that
In
Peter
some
Obi
quarter,
won.
but they didn't
No,
win.
no,
Of
no,
course, the record-
nobody.
the
If
record-
no,
the record does
he
not-
didn't
does
win,
not show
and
it.
why we cannot say he didn't win is that he's not the president today.
He didn't win.
So he
Based
didn't
on-
win.
Based on INEC,
But there are
declaration of
assumptions in
result.
some quarters that he won that election. Even if he didn't win, he didn't win really. He has a reasonable number of votes compared to those who have been traditional contestants in that same election. So for me, I think why this is drawing a lot of flags from Nigerians is that we have seen it all. There are precedents. But P2B comes off as somebody who P2B is not a magician. Another thing that I think people doubt what the man is saying is that the rot in the country is so deep. We have so bastardized the country that for you, if we say, oh, how many holes is this man coming to farm with the whole of this land that is full of thorns and thistles? So it is because of the nature of the country we have that has gone so bad. Then people are imagining, say, will 4 years actually be enough for him to clean this? We're going to tell you, yes, this mess within the system. So, trust deficit, the magnitude of work to be done, and then the fact that we have seen it before, have heard it before, and there was that. So it's difficult to believe. Difficult to believe.
Yeah, it's difficult to believe actually. It's difficult to believe. It's difficult to believe because the special spokesperson Bayo Ananuga actually was making reference to Obi's earlier promise not to leave Afghan, and that eventually he left Afghan despite promising that he would stay in Afghan. And so maybe part of it is maybe what is playing out here. I mean, he said, look, Obi is a liar. You don't trust him because he has said he will never leave Afghan, but he left. So why should you trust such a person? What's your reaction?
No, those are, this is a political system, and we are facing another round of election. And when an opposition is saying things, he will always whip up all manner of
I know where he's coming from.
to favor him and to allude to his to make whatever he's saying believable. Bayo Ananuga is the spokesman of the president. And to that extent, he shouldn't expect him to be praising Peter. Peter Obi leaving Abga, from what I have read, was because of also some opposition that arose when Governor Obiano came on board as the governor. You cannot stay in a party where your life is being threatened, your life in quotes is being threatened. So, yes, we read and heard that Peter Obi made a promise to the late Odumogu, the father, the patron of that party of Abga, that he will continue with Abga. But when there arose certain opposition and that threatened his life, as I have read in some places. So the man had to run for his dear life. So to that extent, you should not, today people can say, who is more Abga than the wife of Odumogu Ojukwu, who is serving in an APC government today? Bianca Ono is an Abga woman. But what is she doing in an APC if you can look at it from that? So Peter Obi left because he wanted to move ahead, to move on with his life. So he was not tied to the umbilical cord of Abga. So that being it, again, you should not be listening to all those people or all those who have been saying that Obi, they didn't believe that Obi could do what he has promised. Most of these are coming from the opposition. Like I've said, we are facing a new round of election, and you don't expect the opposition to be saying anything that is in favor of Peter Obi or in favor of
And the
his
opposition.
party. It's an opposition. They play the opposition party. Professor Governor Soludo in Anambra State, you know where he's coming from. Soludo has never shown himself to be a supporter of Peter Obi. Now they are not in the same party. They are brothers, at least as far as coming from the same state is concerned. But they are divided by virtue of the party they belong. So he can say anything, and the people know where he's coming from. So those who are saying that they don't believe him are coming from the opposition part. But those who have seen the consistency of a Peter Obi as a politician still believe that perhaps what he said, what the man is saying is that if it takes Nigeria 2 years to be where the country is now, it can as well take the country 2 years to leapfrog, to turn around. Things will turn the corner. So that to that extent, it doesn't need up to 4 years to make Nigerians feel them part of government, feel them part of a new government. So that is, I think, I understand how he's saying.
Okay.
So 4 years to that extent could help him to serve the country and serve the country well. Okay. Again, why Nigerians are saying a typical, because I listened to Professor Soludo, the governor of Anambra State. He said anybody saying that could
need a psychiatric test.
Need a psychiatric test. Yeah. But he is talking because of himself. Because as a politician, he's not satisfied with the 4 years he's already doing. He's looking at another year. So he is talking, addressing himself. That if I say that I'm satisfied with this, then I should be
I should have done something.
I should have done something. So, and again, what also did not help or has not helped with this promise is because of what President Olusegun Obasanjo wanted to do after the second term. He wanted to change things to run for third term. So which means that place, if you test it, so there is something there. So those who are there now believe that there must be something there that if you test it.
No, that if you give him the chance.
If you give him the chance and he tests it.
Those are some of them. Just the 2011, right, when Jonathan ran and won in 2011, there was this talk about the fact that there was some kind of agreement
that he would do,
and that Jonathan entered into with some political groups that just give me just support me for 2011 when I win, I will not hear. So bad.
Then he came for
2015. Jonathan ran again. I forgot some people so perhaps. I don't know where that it was.
I think Peter Obi also has this gambit, so to speak, that the North knows that after 4 years of 8 years of the South, it is their turn. Yeah. So for him also to score the favor of the Northerners, he say, I'm not going to encroach into your time.
So the guy is also playing politics.
Yes, I'm not going to encroach into your time. That the moment I'm done with the remaining 4 years after Tinubu, assuming he defeats Tinubu, and then comes on for 4 years. It is your turn. Then you take over it becomes your turn, because they are now being turn by turn, the South and the North. So Peter Obi also, beyond all the excuses we may have given for his ability to perform, also is playing some level of politics by giving it to the Northerners that even though I have this ambition, it's not going to affect your chances or your turn when the time comes. So, because if he doesn't play that kind of gambit, this the Northerners may, this is another person who is coming to change things for us, and therefore he wouldn't get their support. So in order to get the support of the North, he also has to say, it is I'm not going to encroach into your time. Just give me this period and you see things. And we should believe that if the present government could just make one policy statement and the country came to where it is, what's one policy statement? there's every likelihood that somebody can also make another policy statement and things will change, go the other way around.
Okay.
All these are just possibilities that things that are possible, not that anybody is sure of anybody. Peter Obi is not Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sure.
I must acknowledge that.
Yeah.
It's not a Jesus Christ. He could come and the next day you see a group of people coming up from everywhere. Okay, you earnestly ask for Peter Obi's second term. It's not impossible in Nigeria from what we have seen before.
And you could take
As good as or as bad as Abacha was, a lot of people came up from everywhere. Youth earnestly asked for.
If I should jump in there, it will be very difficult for anybody from the South to win election in 2031.
Yeah.
Because it is clear that
the
it
turn
is
of
the
the North.
turn of the North. So that was also what played against the PDP in the last election, because feeding Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was a minus for that party, and they are still paying for it now. So if someone comes to run against the turn of another region, obviously Nigerians have accepted that rotational presidency.
Even though not written.
Even though not written. It's a gentleman agreement, and it has stuck. So what is at stake now is the next 4 years. And that is why the Southerners are banking on it, that they have to start out.
They still have
8 years.
the 4 years.
And that is what Obi is banking on, and telling them 4 years is sacrosanct. And I read what he pushed out his statement at the weekend, that he still stuck to that promise, and it's sacrosanct, that he will not, of course, even if he wants to go beyond that,
there will be hurdles.
There will be hurdles, and he cannot. He can't clear those hurdles.
But let me stay with you, Zeb. There are people who have also said, "Look, Obi, you are promising to do just 4 years, just 4 years, and go." But again, as we speak, we don't even know the party you are going to run because it doesn't look like
it's still in the Labour
Party, and then you have not actually officially joined ADC, and then you have left you are calling you in PDP. So before you begin to talk about the fact that you want to do one term, what party actually are you going to?
Your platform.
What's your platform? What platform are you going to run?
Actually, this, whether we like to say it the way it is or not, that is the way it is. Labour Party is in crisis. Peter Obi cannot go in now because Abure is the faction that is being recognized by the INEC. Nenadi Osman is a splitter.
But he has not also officially left the Labour Party.
Who?
Peter Obi.
No, he has not. He's on the side of the Nenadi Osman-led faction.
Yes. Okay.
So if a party is not stable, is not one, you cannot claim to be a family. And that's why he has sent the Labour Party of the Osman Nenadi bloc, has sent Dati Ahmed to go on a reconciliatory drive with Abure faction, so that they will come together and continue in that rapport. So being in ADC also is also to understand how things are going. And he's trying to woo the northern part of this country to be on his side. And the majority of the people in that ADC
are from the north.
It will be naive on his part for him now to stay back and just say, okay, I am in Labour Party, that he doesn't know whether he's sinking or he's surviving. And in a PDP, some people are advising him that going back to PDP will amount to going back to Egypt.
Yes.
That PDP door is closed, and it's closed for him, and that's the advice people are giving him. So it will benefit him to stay in ADC, to watch what is happening, bidding the time, because as we go into the election, in the next 1 year, a lot of alignments and realignments. In fact, some other parties that are seeking registration
may have come
with the INEC may have come up. And who knows the party now? When he contested on the platform of the Labour Party, nobody expected it. It was a known party, an unknown party. He brought that party to a limelight. So who knows if there's another version of Labour Party that he will latch on, that he will leverage.
Early days,
but let me ask, because we're trying to manage time around. There are people who have said that, look, Obi is desperate to become president, and that's why he's telling you that he just want to do one term. Just desperation. This man is just too desperate, and that's why he's telling you he will do just one term.
If you look at
is this statement a function of desperation?
Politicians generally are desperate people. They are desperate people, and that's why you see people who ordinarily should not even contest for any position at all coming to square up with other people because they want power. There's nobody who is looking for power that should not be desperate about it, because it's not just trust on you for the sake of it. So to describe Obi as a desperate politician, well, it suits him. But it's not a crime to be desperate when you are looking for something that you passionately need. Peter Obi can be said to be very passionate about wanting to govern, to rule Nigeria, because he sees what he thinks should not be. He doesn't see things that should be there in a country that he wants to rule. So to that extent, but in relation to his maybe one term, we have just explained here that he is looking for one term because he has studied the situation and seen that beyond 2031, there is no hope for anybody from the South. So it will be foolhardy of him to start campaigning, oh, I'm going to do 8 years, which will take him beyond 2030 to 2035 or something like that.
Yes.
So to that extent, I personally do not see it as a case of desperation that I just want to do 4 years and get away. And maybe because he believes in his capabilities, that given the 4 years, I'll be able to turn things around.
Okay. Let me tell you, there is nobody who wants to change negative things that cannot be desperate. Nobody.
Yeah.
In your company where you work, if you want to change things to run the way they should,
you have to pursue it with.
The MD in an office has to be very desperate to ensure that things work well. In our families, as fathers, we have to be very desperate to make sure
that carry everybody along.
We carry everybody along. So desperation is part of life.
But anyway, we also saw that desperation on the part of the current president.
Yes.
And
that was what gave him the position where he was desperate.
He took it by force.
It was quite desperate.
The kingdom of God suffered violence, and violent men take it by force.
And the man told you, this is not power. It's not served in a restaurant.
Yes.
You just have to grab it.
A la carte. Okay. He always says it.
Okay, as we wrap up, just one more question. Just in a few seconds, let's ask this thing. Realistically, what impact can anybody make within 4 years in a country like Nigeria? Realistically.
Let me tell you. When Singapore is a place that our people normally use as when they're talking about places that had the same economic and political culture like Nigeria. The president that came, Chong Yuan, that he turned things around. He looked into the country was in a mess. He came up under 2-3 years. Things were put in place. Nigeria doesn't need 4 years for things to. It took only 1 day for Nigeria to change the way we are now. That policy statement by the president, subsidy is gone, and we are not recovered. 1 day. So it can also take a policy statement by anybody. It could be by the current statement, president, current administration, to now come and say something will happen, a policy statement that could turn things around for the better.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take donkey years to make things happen in a country. So I believe that if someone says, I have something to offer, the person may have something to offer. Whoever that wants to become president of this country in 2027, all of them are just, and I believe if they interact with you, you will also know that they have something
To offer.
to offer. So you cannot just put a blanket and say, where we are is where we are. There's no going beyond this place.
Right.
So things can be better even in two weeks.
I think that according to your question, how much can be achieved within 4 years? A lot. Let us use the example of Lateef Jakonde in Lagos.
Yes.
He did just 4 years. I remember, don't forget that it was on his second term that his government, the military came and toppled the government. It was. But today,
Yes.
all over Nigeria, all over Lagos, it's about Jakonde. Whether I'm talking about education, about infrastructure, talking about housing, everything. I agree that especially his housing model was not the best, but people are there providing shelter for people. And if you see what Femi Gbajabi Amila has done of Jakonde houses in Surulere, you find that there's nothing that is not possible.
Yes.
You can only talk about Jakonde housing not being what housing should be. When you look at the kind of things you have in Maitu, you have in maybe going towards Ajah and all those kind of places, where the whole thing has become a mess. But if you look at the Surulere kind of
maintenance.
yes,
Maintenance.
so
Maintenance.
I want to believe that a leader that comes with a vision, a leader that comes with that is prepared to serve the people, can always achieve so much.
Yes.
As we have seen in the area of, like the case of Jakonde in Lagos.
All right. Thank you so very much, Mr. Oruko. Thank you so very much, Mr.
Thank you for
Agomo.
having me.
It's been a very interesting discussion with you guys this afternoon. Thanks so much for coming. This is where we call it a wrap on the BDTV Roundtable. And thank you so very much, viewers, for watching. Until we come your way again next Wednesday, this is bye from us. Thank you.